Dear students, in our previous class, we have been studying about different aspects of operating system. Now we are moving on to the second module of the operating system, which is process management. So you must have heard this term many times in our class, process and thread. So in this class, we will be trying to get an introductory idea and understanding of what are process and what are threads. We already discussed how a program is developed. So whenever you want to make a program, you will write that program into some high level language program like Java, C, C++, or something like that. And that program is written in high level language. Computer cannot understand that language. What we want to do, we want to convert our that language to binary language. Computer can understand only binary codes. So for that, using a compiler, you compile your program and it helps to convert the program into a machine code which is understandable by your computer. But it is not enough to just have that binary code for a program to execute or for a program to tell the computer what it wants to do. So what it has to do is it has to load it into the main memory. And for a program to execute, it needs some resources of the computer system. So, who will give that resources? Who will allocate these resources? It is the operating system which we have been discussed so far. So, the operating system will help in loading that executable program into the memory and allocate its resources. And then the program will begin its execution. So we first have a program which is written and which is ready for execution, but till that time it is just a passive entity. That means it just sit there without doing anything. But the moment it begins execution, at that instance we call that program a process. So in the earlier computer, it supported only one process or one program at a time. But in today's computer, it is support multiple process, multiple programs running at the same time. And even one single program can have many processes associated with it. So when a program begins its execution, at that time it is known as process. Now, let us try to understand what are threads. So, thread is actually the basic unit of process which is in execution. A thread is the unit of execution within a process. A process can have anywhere from just one thread to many threads. So, we already understood what is a process. When a program is executing, it is called a process, and a thread is the unit of execution within a process. So, within a process, there may be one or more unit of its execution, and those units are known as threads. And again, in earlier systems, one process had only one thread, but now a single process can have many threads or many units of execution within it. So, a process can have anywhere from one thread to many threads. So, that is the differences between process and a thread. If you look at this diagram, I hope you should be able to visualize and understand what is actually means. So here we call this entire thing as a process. When a program begins its execution, it becomes this process, and within this process there are certain units of its execution, and each unit is known as a thread. So there are all the unit or the threads which are under execution within this process. Now, if you want to see the process which are in execution in your system, you can see it using your task manager. In Windows, you can open up the task manager and you can see which are the programs that are loaded and what are the process which are executing. So let me show an example of that. So here this is a screenshot of my task manager. If you open up your task manager and you will look at the application tab, we can see which are the programs that are running. So here I have 3 programs running over here, and here we have process tabs. So if you click on the process tab, you can see what are the process uh, running in your system. So if you click this, you come to this window. Over here you can see that there are all these processes running in your system. For example, if you look here, you see that there is the Chromium browser running over here, and if you look at the process tab, we see that there is not only one process associated with this browser, but there are multiple processes. So we see that there are multiple processes associated with a single program. So I hope with this visual example it was more clear to you what are processes and what are threads and how they work. Thank you and see you in the next one.